Hey guys, it's B-Lock here in the choir room, and I wanted to do some review work with you on the theory things that we've been working on, plus the vocabulary that I sent out to you. I want to go back over it and make sure that you understand what is going on here and how to apply it to what we're dealing with in our music stuff, okay? So let's get started on our vocab. And really, just like I said, in music, we have signs that tell us how to sing, where to go to, how to go back to things, how to count our notes, our values, and all the above. So I'm going to be doing a pretty extensive video, so be sure and take notes. You can stop, you can go back and repeat, but you'll have this for your access, okay? So here we go. First of all, we know that this is known as our treble clef. This treble clef sign we know that it's the upper part of the piano. It is usually where the melody is found, plus it is also where the ladies usually sing, correct? What parts do we have in the ladies? We have our soprano, which is our top girls. And we have our alto, which is our lower girls. Then we come down to our bass clef. And notice bass clef is not spelled B-A-S-E, it's B-A-S-S. Don't call it bass because it's not a fish. It is the bass clef, just like a bass guitar, okay? So in the bass clef, we have our guys singing, plus we also have the lower register of the piano, okay? The lower tones. So we have in the men's section, we have our tenor, which is our higher guys, and we have the bass, which is our lower guys. Now we also have a voice part for the guys that's in between. It's when their voices haven't really changed to a true tenor or a true bass, and it's known as the baritone. B-A-R-I-T-O-N-E, baritone. That's in between the tenor and the bass, okay? Alrighty, so we have our treble clef, we have our bass clef. We have the soprano, the alto, the tenor, and the bass, and the baritone. Our voice parts that we sing. This part right here, these 5 lines and 4 spaces, is known as the music staff, S-T-A-F-F. That's what we write music on, music staff. So my board is not your normal dry erase board, it's a staff board because it is music staff paper, all right? And that's why I can write on it, erase it, write on it, erase it. I would hate to know I had to draw those lines every time that I wanted to do a musical staff. So that's a big help for me. All right, now then, if we put our treble clef and our bass clef, draw a bar line and a brace or bracket. Brace or bracket. It then becomes the grand staff. Now I know for a lot of you this is, yeah, we know this, Miss B, we know this, Miss B. Some people still struggle with understanding what different parts are. So I'm starting at the basics and working our way up, okay? So just be patient, all right? This is just a good review for you. All right, now we're going to go into our note values and our rest values. In our notes, we're going to go from the largest to the smallest. We have the whole note that is simply a circle. He gets 4 counts or 4 beats. We take our whole note and add a stem to it, and it becomes a half note. that gets half of this. So it gets 2 counts. We're going to take the half note, color it in, draw a stem, and it becomes a quarter note. And it gets half of that, which is 1 count. Then we have the quarter note with a flag, and he becomes an 8th note, which gets only a half of a count. And the last one we've talked about so far is our 16th. He only gets 1/4 of a count. All right? So these are our note values. This tells us how long to hang on to something or how long to not hang on to something. Okay? So we've got whole, half, quarter, 1/8, and 16th. And like I've said before, in drawing these notes, the more stuff that's on the note, the less value it has. We started with an empty circle. The next note we added a stem. The next note we colored it in. The next note we added a flag. The next note we added another flag. Okay? Alrighty. Now let's look at the rest. Notes mean sound. Rest means silence. When we have rest in music, we're going to rest for that amount of time. And for each note, we have a rest. All right. The whole rest sits on, it hangs from the 4th line. It looks like an upside down hat. So he hangs from the 4th line. It's like he's gone into a hole. Our half rest sits on the 3rd line. He's a right side up hat. All right, this is the half rest. He sits on the 3rd line. Those 2 rests have to be in those 2 certain places. Those 2 rests have to be in those 2 certain places. The whole rest has to hang from the 4th line. The half rest has to sit on the 3rd line. And when we're counting our 5 lines going up, we always go up. We don't start from the top and go down, okay? Then we have our quarter rest, who looks kind of like a fancy Z. That's our quarter rest. Our 8th rest has a little flag. And our 16th rest has 2 flags. Now, if we have a rest, it's going to be that much of silence. If we have a song, it's going to be that much of sound. Okay? But we have a rest and a note that are the same value, just one is sound, one is silence. Okay? Good deal. All right, let's go back to our staff over here. And we're going to name the lines and spaces in our treble and bass clef. The one good thing about music is we have a music alphabet and it only has 7 letters. 7 letters in the music alphabet. They are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Those are the only letters we have in our music alphabet. When you look at the piano keyboard that I sent you through Google Classroom, you will see how it's lined up. We have sets of 2 black keys, sets of 3 black keys, and then we have the white keys. And you'll see how when you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then you're starting over again with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way through to that. All right? So let's look first at the treble clef. Our 5 lines are E, G, B, D, and F. I say empty garbage before Dad flips because that was my responsibility as I was growing up. Some people say every good boy does fine. Whatever kind of saying that you want to use to help you remember what the lines' names are, use it. You can make up your own little phrase to go with E, G, B, D, and F. All right? Now, the spaces are easy in the treble clef because it spells out a word. And that word is face. F, A, C, and E. F, A, C, E. Face. Now keep in mind, all of this is already in those PowerPoints that I've sent you. But I wanted to go back over this with you so that you, if you have any questions, you can send them to me. Please send me questions about things you do not understand. I'm not with you. And when I'm not with you at your house, I don't know what you're understanding and what you're not. I'd much rather you ask me questions about it than to go to Google and search it and put an answer. Because guess what? You probably don't know what you wrote down with that Google search. You probably don't understand what it's saying there. And I'd much rather use my definitions that I use in the classroom every day to help you understand what it is, as opposed to a dictionary definition that could confuse you even more. Now let's look at the bass clef. I'm going to erase this right here. Write that right there, so in case you want to remember. All right, now we have the bass clef. G, B, D, F, and A. I say great big dreams for America. Some people say good boys do fine always. Here again, make up your own little saying that you want to use, and that's fine if it will help you remember what the lines are correctly from bottom to top. G, B, D, F, and A. Now let's go to the spaces. A, C, E, and G. All cows eat grass. All cars eat gas. All children eat goodies. Whatever you want to make up, use that to help you remember your sayings, okay? So that you don't get them mixed up. So many times we get the lines in the treble mixed up with the lines in the bass, and we'll put the lines in the treble and the spaces will use the bass clef instead of the treble clef spaces, names. So learn what those are. Learn them, learn them, learn them. Did I say to learn them? Yes, learn them, okay? All righty. Now then, can you tell me the difference between a line note and a space note? It's very simple. If it's a line note, there's a line going through the circle part of the note, which is known as the note head. If you see me drawing a note and there's a line going through the middle of it there, it's considered a line note. If it's between two lines, or even if it's sitting right here, it doesn't have a line going through it, so it's considered a space note. All right, a line note and a space note. Why do we have the line note and space notes? Because it's telling us which line and which space the note is on so that we know which one to sing or which one to play. If we don't have that, well, we're in trouble because we're singing the wrong thing. Okay? Now, this is touching base on these 2 pages of vocab that I've sent out. So this gets you started on kind of reviewing of what you've got. I will do another one of these videos on Monday, maybe this weekend, and send it out to you. Keep these videos, look at them, send me notes if you get confused at when you're doing these theory worksheets, when you're reading your musical scores and learning this music. I expect you to be practicing this music with the rehearsal tracks every day because we will be doing a concert. I'm just not sure when our Veterans Day program will be, but it will be. It may not be in November, but we're going to do one, whether it is virtual or whether it is live, sometime this year, okay? So I hope this has helped. If you have questions, you have my email. Send me an email. I will answer you that day, okay? All righty. Have a good weekend and go Eagles.